Hello and welcome to 1994. This year's Scene on 7 promises to be even better than last year's. But in case you missed it, here's a second chance to look at some of the most memorable moments of 1993. Aerobics in a nightclub? Who ever heard of such a thing? We sent Bob Mitchell along to find out. Your chance to see Tony O'Rourke once more involved in golf at Slough Football Club. How the studio was built, our time-lapse camera reveals all. The Thames Valley Rescue Service, how they may be able to help you. Our favourite musical guest of 1993 was Little Sister. Bob Holness with T-shirts at Queensmere. A second chance to see Gary Trotter, photographer extraordinaire. Andy Cattrall's exploits in Britwell. And last but by no means least, the bloopers tape of 1993. Now, the Mirage has become established as one of the top night spots in our area. It plays host to raves, to celebrity performances, and that sort of thing. Earlier in '93, it played host to aerobics.
We are here at the Mirage nightclub in Windsor to discover the latest thing in aerobics.
We can have a bit more volume, thank you.
Tell us a little bit about slide aerobics.
Okay, well, slide aerobics is a very new, innovative form of health and fitness. It's a very high-intensity workout, which is non-impact, so you don't get the stresses going through the skeletal system as you would do if you were jogging or stepping. Primarily, it works the inner and the outer thigh, and also builds up the cardiovascular system, which burns fat. It's a very intense exercise.
And what's the difference between this and step aerobics then?
Well, step aerobics primarily concentrates on the front and back plane. So basically you're exercising the front of the leg and the back of the leg.
Has been billed as the latest thing in aerobics. Can you tell us exactly what it's all about?
Right, well, what happens normally is an organisation hires a nightclub for the evening for about 3 or 4 hours. Then you have presenters, aerobics instructors, that teach a class each, normally about 40 minutes to an hour, 45 minutes. Normally the emphasis is on dance. So it's dance aerobics, very funky styles. Normally the people that teach at the nightclub events are funky types of people. They're happening all over London at the moment, and they're starting to go outside London as well. But normally the emphasis is on fun.
What do you think about the idea of the nightclub aerobics, the sort of like the disco music with the aerobics?
I think it's a brilliant concept, but I think, and a big space to have it. And I don't know, you feel a bit more like dancing in a nightclub scene than maybe just a studio or a gym.
You know, it's great fun, good exercise as well, and you get to work out in a club atmosphere. You get the disco lights, you get the music, and you get the dance feel as well.
I think it's a brilliant idea, absolutely fantastic, and I think this girl is amazing, really good, she's going to go far.
All right, John, are you ready? Take it back. Shout. Forward rock. Right to the back. Turn. Okay, now John, how do you feel? Well, I've had enough of being up here. I'm coming down with you to see exactly what you're doing. Can we do it? One more time from the very top. Last time I promised would I like to do. Yes, I probably would, but that's beside the point. Are you ready? Are you ready? Can't hear you. Are you ready? Okay, give me a countdown, please. 8.
And Bubba will be back in 1994 with lots more reports from a woman's point of view. Now, Tony O'Rourke has been out and got cold and wet and manky on many occasions throughout 1993. However, he went to play golf at Slough Football Club. It wasn't cold, wet, but it might have been manky.
Time was when the local footy club specialised in footy. Now, however, maybe it's a sign of the times, but Slough Town Footy Club are getting into golf as well. To tell us more about that and the other facilities on offer here, I'm joined now by Director Byron Thorne. Byron, how did you get into Slough Town Football Club?
Well, I was introduced to the club by an old friend, a local man called Bob Pearson, who told me that the club was in trouble.
It's actually bankrupt, wasn't it?
That is correct. It was in the hands of the receiver. He put a proposition to me, explained how he thought that we could diversify on the site to make the football more viable than it obviously had been up to now. And it seemed to make sense. And so we got together. We'd known each other quite a few years, and we began this project together.
Right, which now you're up on the golf driving range. You
Yes.
see before us. Also, I believe you have plans for a golf course around the back next year.
That's right. We will probably begin construction of the golf course in the spring. But golf courses being what they are, we probably won't actually have people playing golf on the site until the following spring. It takes that long.
Tell us about the other facilities on offer.
Well, we have a very nice new golf lounge to supplement our existing football bar, and we have refurbished the big hall so that we can now take 250 people for a sit-down meal, and we're also providing facilities for conferences and things like that.
The golf driving range is floodlit for those who want to play on into the night, and there are already plans for a shop and a creche. The club has never seen so many changes before. I asked Football Secretary Ollie Hayward how long they've been here.
19 years, 1974 I moved in from the Dolphin Ground.
You also lease a lot of other land in the area, so there's plenty of room for manoeuvre.
Certainly is, room for development, golf, and the biggest structure, stadium and whatever we need requirement regarding football.
Which you might be needing quite soon.
Hopefully, yes, with the progress that's going on, it's magnificent, and long may it continue.
What do you think about the changes here?
Oh, fantastic. Having seen it from its barren, bare days when we first moved here 19 years ago, it is absolutely magnificent now. Absolutely wonderful, and I hope it can keep on improving.
With all this talk of golf, it's very easy to forget about the main event, football. I asked player-manager Les Briley about his hopes for the season.
Well, the hopes this season are to win the league. We're going very well at the moment. We're top of the league. And if we do win the league, that means that we go into the Football League, and that gives us Football League status, which will be for the first time in the club's history. So that I see as a very big contribution to everything that's going on here.
This is Tony O'Rourke for WMtv at Slough Town Football Club.
He doesn't mind being out and about during the summer, but in the winter he really doesn't like it. Tony O'Rourke will be back in '94, and we'll get Tony into the studio, on the subject of which we have a brand new studio suite, as you've probably noticed. Here's how it was built. None of the people in that film knew the camera was on, but we did. Now, from something completely silly to something very serious, the volunteers of the Thames Valley Rescue Service.
We can't. Through that side. Oh, Chris.
Okay.
Just get a peg put there to stop.
Not happy with it. Take them little ones out. Have them safe.
Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Pat.
Thank you very much for bringing your unit here to reenact this accident. Absolutely fantastic. Now, you are the Thames Valley Medical and Rescue Unit.
Yes.
And you are the divisional officer, is that right?
No, I'm actually their chief officer.
The chief officer, I beg your pardon. Well, now, could you tell me how long you've been with this unit?
I've been with the unit from the beginning, and we started approximately 17 years ago.
Really? And how many people work with you?
It fluctuates between 60 and 70 people, and we've got approximately 8 units throughout the Thames Valley area.
So you are attached to which unit?
I'm actually attached to none of them because I oversee all
of them. So far afield as Bracknell?
We have one group at Reading, Maidenhead, Slough in this area, and the mother unit is controlled from Bicester in Oxfordshire, and we go as far as Banbury, Cheltenham, as far south as Goodwood in Sussex.
Yes, now this morning we've seen a few children here. Now they are, what, the cadets?
Yes, we have a junior section starting from 8 years of age, and what we do is we train them to do the simple jobs like the jacking and packing, as you can see over there.
Yes.
And the idea is to enthuse them in if something happens at home, they know what to do.
So they're all trained first aiders?
Yes, we give them all basic first aid training.
Now, when I wanted to contact you recently, you had gone to Turkey. Would you tell me why you went to Turkey?
Yes, we go to Turkey twice a year, and the first time in first part of the year, in April, we go out there to teach holiday reps, hoteliers, shop assistants and gullet captains first response.
Yes.
So that if the holiday makers that are going from here out there abroad are taken ill, sick, or have a injury,
yes,
at least they know there's someone capable of looking after them.
That's fantastic. Tell me, how do you get your money and support for this group? Because you're all volunteers, I understand.
Yes, everyone's volunteers. There's no paid staff at all. Our money is raised by doing the duties, and as a top-up, we try to do public collections, and we try to get sponsorship from various firms.
Now, you said doing the functions. What exactly do you mean by doing the functions? You mean using the team to go to an air show, or if there's an accident and things like this?
Yes, we give first response service at what they call fly-ins.
Yes.
That's where they open up an airport for the day, and we become the rescue team.
I see.
And we set this up with an ambulance and a fire tender, similar to how we came down the road today. We would travel in convoy to a venue, and we would give the full cover for the airstrip.
For the day.
And then also we would possibly set up our field hospital if there's a steam rally or something like that on.
Can you tell me what the legal side is for this sort of setup here?
Yeah, obviously because the accident was staged, we had to get permission to use the road, and we're very grateful to the authorities of Burnham Beeches to let us set this up.
And I believe the GLC own this land, don't they?
That's right, yes, so it's them we need to thank.
Right. Now, if in fact you were on the way to an accident and you had to wait for the normal ambulance team, and these people were on their way to another show like they put on, and you flagged them down, there would have been a boon to people like you who were waiting for ambulance services.
Yeah, without a doubt. We've seen today how professional they are, and you know, we couldn't have done without the help if this had been a real thing. And you know, we've seen that they're actually volunteers, but in fact extremely professional.
Because of course road accidents are on the up and up in the Thames Valley, aren't they?
Indeed. We've obviously had several campaigns to reduce the figures, and it's with everyone's help, and that includes the likes of these people we've seen today.
Yes. Well, thank you very much indeed, Steve.
Thank you.
Now, if anybody, can anybody join if they were interested?
Yes, we have no bars on anyone joining us.
Right.
If they're not trained, we will give them training.
So if anybody needs to contact you, could you give me your phone number, please?
Yes, they can contact me on Slough, which the code is 0753 572936, or they can phone the station officer of Slough on 824326.
Thank you very much, Chris. And thank you once again for the great work you've done today here.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, you guys, move. Vehicle on fire before it goes into flames. Move, please, if there's any casualties, and deal with it.
Hope you never need to use them, but they're there if you do. Back in just a moment. This is Scene on 7, 1994.
Whatever you're looking for to furnish your home, look no further than the... Within our giant store on the Bath Road, Sippenham, the choice just has to be seen to be believed. Just look at the names we have under one roof. And with interest-free credit on some items, this is the ideal place. Whatever your taste, whatever your style, there's only one place to come. 388 to 389 Bath Road, just off Junction 7. It's the ideal.
For your holiday away from the crowds, our 9-bedroom villa has its own swimming pool, tennis court and billiards room, and is available for room or whole villa rental. Situated on the Portuguese west coast, 3 minutes from the beach, with 3 golf courses within 40 minutes drive. And of course, there's the renowned Portuguese food. For brochure or video, call Eaton Travel on 0753 671747.
Welcome back. Now, music played an important part in Scene on 7 in 1993 and will continue to do so this year. Our favourite singer of 1993, without a doubt, stole everybody's hearts. Her name was Little Sister.
I came up with the idea of the way of life because it was my birthday and me and my dad went to a pantomime in London. When we was coming back from the pantomime, I was going window shopping. As I was looking in the window, someone touched the bottom of my leg, and I looked down and I saw a very young boy laying on the floor asking me for some money. So I asked my dad for some money and gave the boy the money. And then we walked on further down the road and we saw other people lying on the floor. So when I got home, I started to write down a song, like the lyrics for a song, The Way of Life, and told my dad that I'd made up a tune, and he listened to it. He thought that it was a nice, light song and had good rhythm, so he sent it to a record company. They liked it, and then they signed me up to make a record. The reason why I'm called Little Sister is because I'm the youngest in the family, out of my brothers and sisters. I made the song The Way of Life to send out a big message to everybody, including the government. I made the song so that everybody knows that people are living in the street without food or drink, and I don't think the government would like to spend Christmas laying on the floor on the streets of London. I have a pin-up of Chris Kelly from Criss Cross on my bedroom wall because his name's Chris Kelly. If I got married to him, my name would be Miss Kelly Kelly. I'd like to carry on writing my own song, and the person that I'd like to sing with or sing for would have to be Whitney Houston. My dad and my family are very proud of me. I still go to school and I am 12 years old, and all of my friends are 12 years old, and they do push me a lot into the music and hope I have a very good career in music.
Surely she's going to be a celebrity very, very soon. Little Sister, fantastic. We look forward to her new single in 1994. Now, one of the many celebrities we met in 1993 was Mr. Bob Holness. He was at Queensmere.
These impressive paintings are the finalists for the SOS Designer T-shirt competition. This year, as you can see, the theme is food. The competition was organised by Alex Aberton, and I asked her about her involvement with SOS.
I work for SOS. We're a charity. We were set up in the mid-50s to raise money for children and adults with cerebral palsy with the Spastic Society, with whom we are very closely affiliated to. We're working in Slough at the moment to raise money for a project to create accessible facilities for people with disabilities.
Now, SOS is actually run by, or helped run by, a lot of celebrities, isn't it?
That's
Bob
right.
Holness is your chairman, I know, and on your letterhead you've got Sarah Green, Adrian Love, Roger Kitter, and many, many others as well.
We have. We're extremely lucky. We've got 450 celebrity members who basically give their time up free.
And of course we've got Bob Holness here.
Absolutely, yeah.
What's the next step? Once these are actually, we know we'll have a winner very shortly, and the T-shirts made. What are we trying to achieve here?
Well, basically, we're trying to raise money for SOS and the project in Slough. But also, we wanted to, you know, raising funds should be fun, and we wanted to include and get involved all the children from the Slough area, and this seemed a good way to do it. I mean, as you can see from
The
the
standard here today is exceptional,
and the imagination and things that have gone in, say bath buds we've got there, so it's been really good, really good.
Judges, as well as the aforementioned Bob Holness, included Sheila Thorpe, the Mayor of Slough, and Michael Wiseman, manager of the Queensmere Shopping Centre. Well, after great deliberation, a finalist was chosen.
Now, Madam Mayor is going to tell us who's first. Claire Blaine, which one is it?
Claire Blaine.
Right, that's the first one. And it can probably be, the colours can be changed, but the general idea is certainly the most inspirational.
That's right.
Number two.
Number 2 is Danielle Eyre.
Daniel Eyre. Does it look good on the T-shirt?
Absolutely lovely on the T-shirt.
Yeah. And number 3 is Sabia Din.
Sabia Din is here, Indian food.
Indian cooking.
Yeah.
Delightful, really delightful.
Well, tell me a little bit about your involvement with SOS.
Oh, it's one of the charities which I've been involved with for many, many years. They do an awful lot of good work for the Spastics, as they used to be called. It's STARS organisation for the support of people with cerebral palsy now. It amounts to the same thing, and they get projects going and they back them up 100%. In fact, this is all part of a project which they've got.
So what's this project about?
Thames Valley University. And it's not generally acknowledged, I suppose, that handicapped people aren't given the facilities to train for catering. And all over the country, they need these facilities. So they thought, why not let's start one down here? And it's all part of an ongoing project at the moment. And this, it's a roundabout way of doing it. This is to pick a design for a T-shirt which will sell, the proceeds of which will go towards that particular project.
And how much money are you trying to raise?
Oh, as much as we possibly can. I don't know what the target sum is, but I know it's always fairly colossal, and it takes a long time to do it. But SOS have a reputation of doing it in the end, and I think they'll succeed here.
So what's happening with the T-shirts? Tell me a little bit about what's happened.
Well, the idea was they split them into age ranges. You see, the young ones, the middle ones, and the older ones, and they asked for a design because the project is food. The actual theme has got to be food because
tie it with the catering.
Yeah. And they said, look, it's got to look good on a T-shirt. They had one in the last year, which was very simple and very modern, and it caught the eye. But we've got to think of all those things. That's why we thought of the strawberries and thing. That looks very good on a T-shirt.
Okay.
But we settled in the end for the the hand holding the food. It may not finish up as being the same exact design as that.
Right, and this is Claire Blaine.
That's right.
Who's age 13.
Age 13. Grasp the food may change the type, but the theme with the food in the hand is so impressive, and we thought it would look so good on a T-shirt. Yeah. But that's what
it's got life at the bottom, and obviously you've got all the different foods in the hand, which is quite nice design, isn't it?
Tell you something, because a lot of the youngsters went for junk food. That's not what we're trying to push. In fact, there were some that devoted the whole time to sweets and things like that. It's got to be food that's sustaining, and this is one of those that got there.
I'm glad it was your decision and not mine, because I wouldn't know where to start. Bob, thank you very much indeed, and I hope you raise all the money that you need.
Thank you very much.
And good luck with any future projects as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, cheers. and say, look, this would look best on a T-shirt that way, but her basic theme, the idea, will be reflected on the shirt. And she will get credit. She wins a sum of money for herself, £50, and £100 goes to the school. Excellent. So everybody benefits.
Yeah. And then the T-shirts are sold to the general public?
Yes, they are, sold to the general public. The last lot was sold at a £5 a time, which was very good. Yeah. And they are very, very good quality T-shirts.
And when will these be ready? How long does this process take?
It's going to take a few months, but it's all heading for the coming year for the project at Thames Valley University. Let's hope it comes off.
Good. Well, I think it's a good choice.
Yeah.
Difficult, I think. All the standard was excellent.
This is just a fraction. I mean, hundreds came in.
Yeah.
And we weren't given the task of whittling them all down, thank goodness. It would have taken us all night.
I'm glad it was your decision and not mine, because I wouldn't know where to start. Bob, thank you very much indeed, and I hope you raise all the money that you need.
Thank you very much indeed.
And good luck with any future projects as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, cheers.
I'll have a pee, please, Bob. Always wanted to say that. Now to an extraordinary man doing an extraordinary job in photography. His name was Gary Trotter.
Well, being a kind of Cold War kiddie, I'd grown up all my life being told that there were these people in the East that we should all be terrified of. And I think I was aware that something like the Berlin Wall wasn't going to be there forever. So I went to see, I didn't kind of predict that it was going to come down, but I had a feeling it wasn't going to be around forever, and I wanted to see it for myself and meet these people. I mean, I'd never actually met, you know, an East German or a Russian or whatever, these you know, supposedly terrible people who lived on the other side of the wall. So I went to see what was on the other side of the wall. You know, I'd seen Richard Burton and stuff in films, and it was all very kind of atmospheric and, you know, certain element of danger, supposedly. And I just wanted to go and check it out and see if it was really like that. You used to be able to go through from Checkpoint Charlie, because the underground in Berlin was built before the wall went up. The underground there would go under the wall. Now, when it was East Germany, the East Germans didn't use the underground, so all their stations were left from World War II. But you used to go to a place called Friedrichstrasse in East Berlin, and you could change trains and go back out to the west. And then technically you were still in the west, although you were in the heart of East Berlin. And they took a dislike because I had too many cameras when we were changing trains. They said, you can't possibly be a tourist, you've got 2 cameras and the lenses are a bit too big. And it's quite bizarre, because the East German soldiers' uniforms used to be the same as what most people would imagine World War II German uniforms are like, except for the helmets. And these guys came like stomping down the platform, it's, you know, rouse, rouse, schnell, schnell. And it really was like something out of the, the Great Escape or something. And these guys were like jabbing guns and no photographs, and trying to explain to them I didn't take any pictures of the station. And the guy I was with, Steve, he didn't speak any German and he was terrified. And my biggest worry actually was that he was going to run away. You know, I started trying to offer these guys, I was really trying hard to remember O-level German, which I did at school, and, you know, what's German for, you know, don't shoot me. But we got away with it in the end. They held the train up for about half an hour, but we got away with it in the end. Well, I went down to Greenham Common again. Living in this area, Greenham Common at the time was quite a big story going on. And they had this day of protest where they were going to go around and basically surround the whole base with people protesting nuclear weapons. Now, you know, most people would probably agree nuclear weapons aren't one of our best ideas ever. And I fancied to go, you know, I want to go and see this for myself again. And by this time I'd already met some people from East Berlin, etc., etc. And, you know, they're just people. They're just people. So I was quite in favour of these things going. And when I got down there was signs on the fences and policemen watching us, watching them, watching us, saying, you know, cameras forbidden, no photography, no sketching, which I thought was kind of crazy. No sketching, you know. I mean, was Van Gogh's going to turn up and sketch the missiles? But so you can imagine these Russians with their crayons. And I just thought, well, I don't really like this much. I don't really like being told no, basically. You know, it's not allowed. You know, you very rarely see signs saying this is allowed, you know. And I thought, well, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Charge me with taking pictures of a fence, you know. So I just ignored it, and somebody took a picture of me giving my response to the sign. I find getting fired is always a very healthy thing to be done. It's getting the boot from the Slough Express was the biggest thing that moved me forward. Thank you very much for sacking me. And yeah, it gave me a freedom to pursue what I really wanted to do. by being shoved into the deep end, really, I think. It's like, you know, 1 minute you had a job, next minute you didn't, and I still had bills to pay, so. Well, what I did was I just started phoning all the national newspapers. I was quite lucky because I think I got fired on a Thursday or a Friday, and on the Monday I managed to get a picture which was in about 4 or 5 of the national newspapers on the front page. I think it was a murder somewhere. So that was kind of a bit of a lucky break. My biggest interest will probably be is the human condition, and that doesn't mean it doesn't have to be, you know, particularly violent or spectacular. Sometimes it can be relatively, you know, what on the surface seems to be quite mundane. And, you know, characters, people's faces, people's reactions, catching people unaware. I'm much more interested in that side of things. And I think, you know, you can tell a lot about people, this kind of stuff. Yeah, this was lucky for me in financial terms. What happened was I was called up to do some pictures at Windsor Safari Park, and then told that nothing was happening. But lots of people had ties on. But when people comb their hair and have ties on and clean shoes, it normally means somebody's coming. So I stuck around Safari Park, and Fergie showed up with Beatrice, and I've basically followed them around for a while, waited until they got out of their car, and then went up and approached them, and she was actually fine. You know, you normally find in those situations, if you do it the right way, they're okay. And I think it's only because it was only me, she didn't mind if there'd been a big pack. But these pictures do leave me a bit uneasy as well, because at the moment there's a kind of upside down logic, particularly in Fleet Street, in that I can take pictures like this, which took an hour. It took me an hour. I was home for lunch, and they earned me somewhere in the region of £10,000 for what is basically a mum and her kid at the zoo. Yeah, it's like, they're not doing anything particularly spectacular here. Whereas, as you say, I think for covering the entire Gulf War in Tel Aviv, I've received something in the region of about £5,000, which had to be, you know, Scud missiles fired me every night.
Now, making Britwell more beautiful seems like an almost impossible task. We sent Andy Cattrall along to find out how they got on.
Thanks, Steve. Hi, my name's Andy Cattrall. I'm here today on the Northborough Estate in Slough, where the people from the Groundwork Trust have organised a community tree planting event. With me here on the Northborough Estate is Richard Gibson. He's one of the project coordinators for Groundwork Colne Valley. He's going to tell us a little bit more about what's happening here.
Our philosophy of our work is involving local communities and improving their environment. We're here today on this very cold day to plant 1,000 trees to help brighten up the Northborough Estate. We've leafleted the whole estate. We're expecting a good turnout today, and hopefully whoever turns out, they'll put their name on a tree, and that tree will grow 10, 15 years later on. They'll be able to recognise their own tree, and it'll hopefully brighten up the estate. The Mayor of Slough, she supports the work of Groundwork on the Northborough Estate. She's given us a lot of support. She'll be planting a couple of symbolic trees, some nice species that will hopefully stand out and make a really nice little corner over to my left here.
So can you tell me why you've given up your Sunday morning to come out on this cold day?
Indeed, well, simply just to make the place better aesthetically for the people who live here. Obviously, to screen out the factory buildings, just to really improve the environment where people live, rather than just in beautiful areas. It's just as important to, you know, where people actually spend most of their time needs to look as good as where the beautiful areas they want to go on their days out. I mean, if you live here, that's more important to have a nice area than, well, just as important as preserving the areas such as national parks.
You get involved a lot with these sort of...
Not so much with the Groundwork Trust, but other wildlife organisations like the West Harps and Middlesex. I'm involved with them. But obviously, days like this and tree planting projects, it's a good way to just do your bit, really.
Yeah.
Well, there's not much stuff to do around here, and like we could play like games in them, like play army and things like that, and something for a dog.
Yeah. With me now I have Tim Bissett. He's one of the project coordinators of the Groundwork Trust. And can you tell me a bit more about the work of the Groundwork Trust, not only locally but on a national scale?
Yeah, Groundwork is an interesting organisation. It's a national organisation. Our central office is the Groundwork Foundation, which is based in Birmingham. There are something like 33 groundwork trusts up and down the country, stretching right from Manchester and Liverpool right down to Plymouth and way down into Cornwall. Kerrier Groundwork Trust is the furthest westerly. There are also some new groundwork trusts just setting up in London. The nearest to here is the Groundwork Trust in Camden. There's also going to be a groundwork trust, we hope, in Hammersmith and Fulham. So it's an expanding network of charitable trusts.
From what you initially set out to do, what have you actually achieved from your initial goals?
Gosh, we've been in operation now for about 7 years, and the trust has expanded both in the area that it operates under and the kind of work it does. Each year we plant something like 10 or 12,000 trees. The ones we're planting today are just a tiny amount of the number that we plant. At any one time we've got between 40 and 50 projects on our books that we're working on, and that's expanding each year. Our aims are still to improve the environment for the benefit of local people.
Well, it looks like everyone's had a great time here today in Slough, and thanks for the work of the Groundwork Trust, there's a few more trees in the Britwell area to brighten up the estate. And back to Steve in the studio.
Now, Andy Cattrall is one of the few presenters not to have made it into the 1993 bloopers tape. Can you believe it takes almost 12 months to make 15 minutes of watchable television? For your delectation and delight, here once again are the bloopers of '93. Every year at Christmas, a television company gets together all the bits that went wrong. They're called bloopers, and this year on WMtv is no exception. Now, what could be easier, for example, than asking a presenter to look at the camera and walk through a door?
But you're not even recording, I was doing my...
I am recording.
Where's the red light?
Well, we must be switched off.
Tracy, we're off to Waterford to get some dedications. How many dedications do you tend to get every time you...
Hold it.
See what I mean? It isn't that easy, is it? But it's not always the presenters that get it wrong. Occasionally, it's the cameramen or the director. Cue police file.
Back to Nick now, who's going to give advice on motorway driving. Nick. Thank you, Nick.
If you'd like to get in on the action, it's the 27th of December, the 6-mile SGT Cliveden cross-country race, an annual event. It's being held at the Cherry Orchard Memorial Ground in Burnham. Call 0753 647 339.
Okay. Now, I wouldn't say that we talk a lot of nonsense. You may disagree, but occasionally it comes out all wrong. It's called gibberish.
Blah, blah, blah.
And the well, what?
What's cold, wet and manky? Rugby is cold, wet and manky. I'm very cold and wet at the moment and getting quite manky.
Right, that's it, go on, up. Never mind, go on, up. Wrong way. Keep going. Keep going, woo! Thank you.
I'm Tony O'Rourke and I'll be looking at the Windsor and Maidenhead District... Sorry, just a moment, sorry.
No, it's gone. Sorry. You're right, it was a load of gibberish. Good gibberish, but it was gibberish.
I haven't been so cold since the day we went to see I haven't been so cold since the day we went to see the rugby people. This week we're in Burnham in Buckinghamshire talking to the Burnham joggers.
Hello and welcome to Scene on 7. It's enough to make you cry, isn't it? We work with a dedicated bunch of professionals, directors and cameramen, but they play tricks on us throughout the year as presenters. That is, to leave the camera running when you're rehearsing. In other words, when you don't know the camera's on, the camera is in fact on, very much so.
Are you terrified by live television?
I can't smile anymore because of my gap in my teeth.
God help us with the Christmas time.
What am I going to say? What am I going to say? What am I going to say?
What did I say? Privates bends down, privates, I was going to say the privates or the members of the donors. Only for the late night show. You're still recording this, aren't you? Merry Christmas.
Blah, 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 blah. Sorry, lost myself there. I'm making this up as I go along, you see.
Here is WMtv. Right.
Yeah!
Now do one without the half of the people.
Oh, sorry, I forgot you got your thingies on your ears.
This is a raspberry.
Shiny nose.
A bit more.
Pucker up. Yeah.
I'm glad to see that you've got your thing on the microphone.
Yes, I've slipped,
If it's not on, it's not on, you know.
I've slipped my rubber device over the end of my long, thin implement.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yes.
Because that's a sign of the times.
Piers is just go away.
Oh, don't, God's sake, no more shadows under the eyes like the last one. Black teeth and shadows. So, Sarah, tell us about that's what I had the last time I did a TV. Completely black teeth. Awful.
The programme is called Scene on 7, yeah? And we're an insert in Scene on 7, being on the Grapevine. So join us later on Scene on 7 for On the Grapevine.
In the wrong place.
Yeah?
Right.
Sorry,
cool.
well, it's our fault for not explaining that to you.
Right.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Right, Tony O'Rourke into Terry Thingy. Now, what's Terry Thingy doing this week?
Ladies and gentlemen, here is Scene on 7.
Actually, Lisa is the youngest presenter we have, and she's probably the most professional out of all of us. Of course, all this gibberish and nonsense and clowning around in front of the cameras all pales into insignificance when you're interviewing celebrities or indeed members of the great British public.
Excuse me, would you like to say... Oh, excuse me. Happy Christmas to you as well.
Yes. You have before you Len Goodman, one of the world's most famous dance teachers. I'm just standing here now. A little bit chilly round the willy because I must be honest about Slough Community Centre. I'd like to take this opportunity of saying it is the coldest place on earth.
Coming up later on Scene on 7, Simon Brandt is out and about and he'll be speaking to Wayne Dobson.
Do you mean now?
No, later.
Sorry.
Okay, once more, a little bit more snappy.
Yeah. I thought it was my own finger for a minute. I thought, hang on a minute.
Obviously, you never know what the British public are going to say to you, or, for that matter, anyone that you might be interviewing. Now, the first rule for any presenter is do not repeat yourself and always remember your lines.
Hello, I'm Simon. I'll be coming up later with On the Grapevine, your guide to what's on in the WMtv... Hello, I'm Simon. I'll be bringing you On the Grapevine, your guide to what's on in the WM... Hello, I'm Simon. I'll be bringing you On the Grapevine, your guide to what's on in the W... Hello, I'm... Who am I?
It's a horrible wet nanking.
Remembrance Sunday is this weekend, and I make no apologies for including this right... Oh, God, it's not including, it's including, you silly...
This is the 75th commemoration of the armistice, and 12 million people lost their lives across Europe during the 1914-18, no. Over 40 million poppies are worn each year, and 100,000 poppy wreaths, as well as 350,000 remembrance crosses, all made in Richmond in Surrey, are laid at various... Oh, I knew this would happen. I just knew it. Over 40 million poppies are worn each year, and 100,000 poppy wreaths and 350,000... Sorry, I'm just really, really f***ed off about this. Vodka would be nice, yeah. Poppy juice. Over 40 million poppies are worn each year, and 100,000 poppy wreaths, and 3,000... Christ almighty. Every... What?
I'll have a pee, please, Bob. And hello, and join us later for Scene on 7 for On the Grapevine.
Sorry, I got distracted by your foot.
I've done it right as well.
So you see, the simplest things can distract you. Now, when you go out to a location and you're filming professionals, that is the managing director of a radio station, you'd think he knew what he was talking about. But sometimes it's the equipment that lets you down, always when the cameras are switched on.
I'm now in the studio with Mike. How fast can you actually choose a record? I know when the DJs used to have to go to the record sleeves, to the shelves, etc. Used to take them ages. They'd be working actually while the record's playing. How does it go today with this automation?
Well, it's virtually instant. In fact, the great thing is the presenter doesn't actually have to worry about choosing a record because the computer schedules the music, the computer finds the music, the computer presents it to the presenter on the screen. And if the presenter wants, it'll even play it for them without them touching anything. You can set up a whole sequence and the computer will just handle everything. It'll play the record, it'll play the commercials, play the jingles, whatever. If the computer needs to find something, or the presenter needs the computer to find something, they can do it just about as instantly as this. Just push a button and press the record. See, nothing. There's no hook to play. If they need to find something instantly, it's as fast as this. Just push a button, push another button, and here's a commercial.
No hook to play, take two.
And what's happening is I'm pushing the wrong button. I'm trying to hit F3 and I keep hitting the wrong one. So if I hit F3, you see, it goes to a record. I press the hook, which is what it's doing, and it'll play, but I keep pressing the wrong
The bad boy pressed the wrong button. Right, instead of Madonna, we've got
I said,
an
give
advert.
Me vinyl any day. Where's the turntables? Bring the turntables back. But if they do need to choose a piece of music, it's as fast as this.
I saw the screen change. Can we watch this?
So did I. That's where we've been going wrong, because the screen change comes up. You hit what you think is the button, and of course you're back into the last event. If the presenter does need to play the music, all they have to do is to hit a button here.
And, we need to hit this button a bit quicker. Should we get a quicker answer next time?
I was trying to speed it up last time.
We were almost there then.
I was almost there, but the screen change came up. I'm sorry.
Whether it's radio or TV, you'd think that the presenter would at least remember his name or the name of his guests.
Thank you, Steve. This week I'm at the Windsor and Maidenhead District Sports Association for the Disabled, which is conveniently just next to Maidenhead Rugby Club. And I've been joined now by John Jenkins, who is the chairman of WANSAD, as it's also known. Good evening, Jeff. John. Good evening, John.
Welcome back. On Scene on 7, we concentrate quite heavily, as you're probably aware, on sport. And I'm fortunate enough to have with me today another guest. His name is, I've forgotten. Steve Williams is the South West Division press officer for the Rugby Football Union, and he's my special guest this week. Hello, Steve. Welcome.
Hi, Steve. Welcome.
One of our sporting experts is with us in the studio today. His name is Steve Williams. He's the South West Division press officer for the Rugby Football Union. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you, Steve. Well, for this first little look at Rugby Union today on what's it called? What's it called?
Now then, if you do get it wrong, there are two golden rules when presenting and the cameras are switched on. Never, ever swear at the camera. And we have a special request from the fire brigade and the police. They don't want to be busy this November the 5th, so have a happy and safe bonfire night. And pay good heedance. Good heedance? Good God.
I'm Tony O'Rourke and I'll be telling... I'm Tony O'Rourke and I'll be telling... Did it again. I'm Tony O'Rourke and I'll be finding out why this, why, how. I'm Tony O'Rourke and I'm a complete... Oh, excuse me.
And the second reason is never appear on television if you can possibly avoid it. If you see the cameras coming, run like hell. Now, if you'd like to write to us with any thoughts on the programme Scene on 7 94, please do so. Our address is Scene on 7, P.O. Box 7, Slough, SL3, 6ET. Well, that's about it for our review of 1993. We hope you enjoyed it. We look forward to the pleasure of your company in 1994. For Scene on 7 and WMTV, I'm Steve Brennan. Happy New Year. Bye-bye.